Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Listen Up Girl podcast, your go-to LGBTQ news podcast, where I break down what's happening in our community, in politics and culture, and yeah, sometimes in absolute chaos. I am your host, Zach Randles-Friedman, and today's episode is one of those where you're going to feel everything. We've got a pop culture moment that had gays screaming, a truly bizarre political controversy you will not believe, major legal and political updates impacting trans rights, a complicated case that's sparking global debate, and a step forward in religion that actually matters. And some powerful LGBTQ names making waves on the global stage. So buckle up because this is a full one. First, let's start with an amazing story. Madonna and Sabrina Carpenter. It's a cultural reset. So we're starting off with a joyful story because honestly, we need it. Madonna showed up and basically blessed Sabrina Carpenter's Coachella set with Like a Prayer. And I'm sorry, but the LGBTQ community collectively lost its mind, as we should. Because this wasn't just a cameo, this was a legacy meeting with the new generation. Madonna, a literal icon, has been intertwined with queer culture for decades, returning to Coachella energy 20 years after her own debut and passing that moment forward. It's symbolic, it's camp, it's spiritual, and honestly, and in a world where we have so much of news that feels so heavy, these moments remind us joy is part of our culture too. I watched the performance online. It was amazing. Madonna never left, but she is back reinventing herself once again. Love her. Next, RFK Jr. controversy. Okay, so from holy blessings to whatever this is, a new biography is making waves with allegations about a major political figure. The same person who publicly attacked trans healthcare, calling surgeries mutilations. And according to his biography, he allegedly wrote in his diary about cutting off the penis of a dad raccoon in front of his children. Yes, that is a real sentence I just said out loud. Now look, beyond how disturbing and frankly bizarre that is, let's talk about the bigger issue, hypocrisy. Because when someone uses their power to control, restrict, and judge other people's bodies, and then something like this comes out, people are going to question your judgment, your credibility, your authority to even be part of that conversation. And they should. Because let me tell you, when RFK Jr. is speaking, I can barely understand him. So he has to have some health issues, in my opinion, and more than just mental health issues. There's something wrong there. And how he could be leading the country in that position is beyond me. Next, we go to Wisconsin, where the Wisconsin governor vetoes anti-trans bills. So let's move into one of the most important stories of the week. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers vetoed 5 bills targeting transgender youth, marking International Transgender Day of Visibility with action, not just words. He said, "My promise has always been that I will veto any bill that makes Wisconsin feel less safe or less inclusive." And he followed through. This matters because across the country, we're seeing an aggressive push to the legislative trans lives, especially trans kids. So when a governor steps in and says, "Not my state," that's leadership, that's protection. And for trans youth watching this unfold, that sends a powerful message. You're seen, you are valued, and someone is fighting for you. So love it, love it, love it. Next, Kentucky bill fails to pass. So let's talk about a quieter but still important win. In Kentucky, 10 anti-LGBTQ plus bills failed to pass before the legislative session ended. 10. That is not small. Now here's the nuance. These bills didn't fail because of lawmakers rejecting them outright. They failed because time ran out. And that might sound procedural, but it actually tells us something. There wasn't enough momentum to push them through, and that matters. Because every bill that doesn't pass is one less barrier, one less restriction, and one less step backward. But this is important. These bills can come back. So yes, we celebrate the win, but we have to stay aware. Our next story is trans athletes win in Minnesota. Now to the courts, where another major decision just came down. A federal appeals court in Minnesota ruled in favor of trans athletes, rejecting a push to ban trans girls from sports. And here's what's key. The court made it clear that legal argument behind the ban couldn't hold up. and that executive orders, including those from the orange convicted felon, are not settled law. That is huge because this debate has driven heavily by politics. And when it hits the courts, it stands up legally, and in this case, it didn't. So now trans athletes in Minnesota can continue to compete. I can't believe I had 3 positive, really good news transgender stories today. It's amazing. Some days you just hit the jackpot, and we are winning in our community for once. Next, a UK nurse sparks debate. So let's talk about a story that is complicated. A UK nurse, Jennifer Melly, has received a settlement with the NHS after a dispute involving pronouns, religion, and patient care. So here's what's happened. She referred to a gender patient using incorrect pronouns, saying her Christian faith prevented her from doing otherwise. She claimed the patient racially abused her. She was disciplined, suspended, and later reinstated, and now the case has been settled. But the bigger issue is her intention was seen globally. Religious belief versus LGBTQ plus inclusion and respect. And in healthcare especially, this has become critical because patients need to feel safe, seen, and respected. And these cases are becoming more common and more polarizing. Because at the center is a question we haven't fully answered yet. How do we balance belief and responsibility? Next, we go to a church in Wales moves forward. Now let's shift into something a little more hopeful. The church in Wales has voted to make same-sex blessings permanent. And for LGBTQ plus people of faith, this is huge. Because for so long, religion has been a place of exclusion. Now same-sex couples can have their relationships blessed openly, publicly, and permanently. But it is not fully equality yet. The church doesn't perform same-sex marriages. Like I said, this is a blessing. So this is progress, but this is also a reminder we are still not all the way there yet. Still, for many people, this moment matters deeply because being acknowledged in a space that once rejected you, that is powerful. And finally, our story, let's end on influence and visibility. For the time list for 2026 is out, and LGBTQ voices are once again being recognized at the highest levels. Some of the standout names include Coleman Domingo, continuing to redefine storytelling representation in Hollywood, Elliot Page using his platform for both art and advocacy, Jonathan Anderson reshaping global fashion identity, and Ophelia Dell leading in global health and humanitarian work. And here's the thing. They're not just on the list because they're LGBTQ+, they're on it because they are shaping culture, industries, and global conversation. And their visibility, it expands what's possible. It tells the next generation you don't have to hide to succeed. So that's the roundup of news today. From joy to chaos to real progress, from complicated conversations, there is one thing that always stands out right now. And there's one thing to take away. We're moving forward, not always in a straight line, not always fast, but we're moving forward. Thanks for listening, for supporting the show and staying informed. Make sure to follow, subscribe, leave a comment, and share this episode. It really does help grow the community. And I'll be back tomorrow with more LGBTQ plus news. Thanks.